Hey everybody, this is Robert Patrick. Watch Shaun of the Dead.
Hey, what's going on? Shaun of the Dead. Just going to do a quick video. MagPul, pros and cons. I picked up an AR-15. It was my second AR-15. It was a DPMS. It had some crap furniture on it, just stock car stock and a stock handguard. And I was like, I don't like this crap. So I picked up an ergo grip for it. And I picked up a MagPul MOE buttstock and handguard for it. And I was like, okay, that's better. I like that. And I ended up not liking the firearm because the DPMS had a lot of failure to feed issues. So I traded that one off. Well, now I built my own AR, as you see in my Spikes custom build. I have now picked up another MagPul MOE buttstock, which I absolutely love. I think it's comfortable, it's smooth, it's skeletonized. It keeps things lightweight. Obviously, have the angle grip and solid material. I didn't like the little nub because my hands, the size of my hands and the size of that nub, it would hit me in the middle of my middle finger whenever I try to grip into it appropriately. So I just removed it completely. So now whenever I grab, I can grab, snug it in, and I'm ready to go. And everything is okay. So as you can see now, I actually have the angle grips on here, or the angle sights on here, and a ACOG. So I've done a little bit of work to it. So she's now pretty well complete. I really don't want to do anything else to her. Now, let's talk about a little bit of cons. Of course, one of my buddies, 2C2, watches videos. He has some MagPul furniture on his AR-15 custom build also. And from the buttstock, which is a different one, to the hand grip, he has other MagPul furniture. I also have the MagPul embossed flip-up sights on here originally as my backup sights, and they were my primary sights until I got my ACOG. They were going to be my backup sights, and I decided to go with the angle so I didn't have to remove the scope just to shoot close range. But I love the sights, and they were fantastic, and they are on zero, and they stayed that way. Whenever I flipped them up, they would stay true. So there's the pros. I'm a MagPul fan. Cons. My buddy and myself are MagPul fans, so we pick up MagPul cases for our phones. I was like, these are awesome. It's gonna be great. For my it's my 4S, I believe, or is it my 4? My iPhone 4. I picked up a case and it was fine. I would take it off my phone, and it was really, really durable. It felt strong, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I dig that. And then I ended up busting the screen on the phone, and I was like, okay, well, I wanted to keep my I went ahead and got the 4S, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'll just get the 4S. That's okay. And then I got the 4S and kept the same phone case on it. It fit just fine between the 4 and the 4S. Same size case. And I dropped that as I was getting out of my car from, and this is when I still have my Honda, not my Jeep. And so I'm dropping it from 3 foot high, from my door as I was getting out down to the to the parking lot, and it shattered the screen. And I was like, that's 2 phones broken, same case. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I get my 5S. 2 days ago, I would get up at my sister's house off the kitchen table, out of the kitchen chair. My hand is at my hip, and it slips out of my hand as I'm getting up, and it's chair height. So that's what, 2 feet and some inches? Breaks again. have to put tape or box tape over it so it doesn't cut me when I'm on the phone. So three cases, or 3 phones in the cases issues. The other one stayed at least solid. The 5s, if you look up here, you'll see a gap. So whenever you plug them in, see how that moves up and down? I'll get you a closer view. See? Up, down. It just slides up and down. Well, my buddy had the same thing, 2C2, with his 5S. His would slop up and down, and it's just really, really, really loose and sloppy. Now, I know that these are not the most expensive cases in the world, but some of my other buddies have other phone cases that are $10, $12, and they have a little bit of wraparound, or they have a longer protrusion between it and the screen, and if it drops, they've had no problems. And they've had theirs for as long as I've had mine, and not a problem. And 2C2's now picked up another phone, and he's picked up himself an iPhone 6 Plus, and he's picked up another MagPul case. And one thing you can notice is it's very shallow, still very shallow. So we're a little concerned that this may get slop also, and if it starts to get slop, then it may affect the ability to protect your phone. Well, as we know from my bad experience, 3 screens now broken. So at this point, I'm not too thrilled with MagPul's phone cases. They look good. The material feels solid enough, but they stretch, and they don't protect your phone when dropped. And the whole reason to have a phone case is to protect your phone from getting damaged, for accidental drops like that. And so far, it's been an epic fail 3 times in a row. Last 3 phones, all busted screens, all MagPul cases. Which sucks because I like the sleekness and the look of the MagPul case. I think they look really, really good. They're really comfortable to hold. And they feel right. I mean, it just feels right to have MagPul on my case. But whenever they do this to my phone, that doesn't feel so good whenever they say, oh yeah, it's going to cost you $100 to fix your screen. What? $100 to fix my screen? Are you kidding me? So I'm looking at picking up a 6 Plus, an X6X, the 6S Plus when released. So right now I'm waiting for the newest phone to come out before I pick up my new phone. Meanwhile, I'm screwed with a phone with a busted screen that has box tape over it so I don't cut myself, and a sloppy case because I have to have a phone. And unfortunately, I'm not going to go out and spend $100 to get my screen fixed, because that's $100 I can put towards my new phone here in a month to go pick up my next phone. So I don't see the real point behind spending an extra $100 for nothing. So that's kind of where I'm at. So MagPul, if you're listening, would you please, pretty please, make your phone cases as good as you do your accessories. Your firearm accessories are fantastic. Love them. Comfortable, ergonomic, everything's great with them. And you have options with the ankle grip. You can go with a nub that fits between your fingers, or you can go smooth and just grab and go. And everything's fine. So fine, in fact, that even though I didn't like the AR, still went with the same exact butt stock again because it was so comfortable. When I shot, I enjoyed where it was at, and I could just easily grab, flip it up, and go and do what I want. And I feel good with the way it's set up. Never had a problem with the tube, never had a problem with the actual buttstock itself. Everything feels great, it's solid. I don't feel like I've got junk. I mean, it's solid, it's good. And it's not like I'm gentle on my firearms. I mean, I don't beat them against a tree, but I don't not do something because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt them. It's a firearm that's supposed to live up to a certain amount of abuse. and so doing a certain amount of torture to it is mandatory. So I picked up what I believe to be quality parts to go on it. So MagPul pros and cons. Firearms accessories, good, like them. Phone cases, do not buy their cases until they do some type of a recall and revamp their phone cases to something that will not allow your phone to fall out. I would love it if they did something similar to an OtterBox, where you have a case and you can slide maybe another casing over it that has a lip around the edge that protrudes. That would be fine. Or if it just had a further protrusion and it would stay snug and it wouldn't do this jazz where it's just so easily floppy. That's just not going to cut it for me. So that's what I got to say about MagPul pros and cons. Firearm accessories, great. Phone accessories, not so great. So take it for what you like. I'm just trying to put some information out there in your hands. And I know another guy used to hang out. He's in the Navy now. And he had iPhone 5, and his was doing the same thing, but worse than this because he had it longer, and his was a 5, after I've already had my 5S, and his was super sloppy and would actually fall out in his hand. So if he'd go like this, it would go boop and fall out in his hand. So, I don't know, MagPul, please, tell me what's a good thing to do. Is there something I can do to fix the case that I can shrink it up to hold better? Is there something that you can do maybe about making them give them just a speck more depth? I've bought cases like this for my dad's phones because I want him to have good covering on his phone, and so fortunately he hasn't really dropped his, so his are fine. But he has MagPul cases also on his last 2 phones. Fortunately, he hasn't dropped his, so he hasn't had any issues. But I liked him well enough that I wanted to get something for my dad, and I wanted my dad to have no problems. But if he drops his phone and it breaks like this, that's a problem. I'll be very upset that I bought my dad an inferior case. Me, I'm an upset customer. For my dad, I would be extremely upset. So, this is Shaun of the Dead. If you've experienced this, please comment on your MagPul phone case experience. And tell me about your gun accessories too. Tell me if you've had good experience with your gun accessories, or if you've had any catastrophic failures. I'd like to know if I've just had really good luck, and if 2C2's had really good luck with our accessories. This is my second gun with MagPul accessories, and he's rocking some accessories also. No flaws, nothing I would feel uncomfortable about. I would go to war with this gun if necessary, and I'd feel good about it. So, it's one of those situations where I would like to know if there's somebody else out there that's may have some issues, so we can maybe get some quality assurance pushed MagPul's direction. So by all means, click subscribe, give a thumbs up, and please tell me about your MagPul history.